It is time for the British people to have their say. It is time for us to settle this question about Britain and Europe. It will be an in-out referendum. The British people have voted to leave the European Union, and their will must be respected.
You can see it on the map. England and Wales voting to get out of the EU, London and the suburbs voting to stay, and Scotland and Northern Ireland overwhelmingly pro-EU. So just before dawn, the BBC calls it.
The British people have spoken, and the answer is we're out.
But it was sweet, sweet victory for those like Nigel Farage, whose right-wing party fought for this moment for years.
The sun has risen on an independent United Kingdom.
As the morning papers blared the news, some were stunned.
I'm completely and utterly devastated. Can't actually believe it's happened.
Others delighted.
Winston Churchill would be proud of us. He'd be up there now looking down at us. Well done, Great Britain.
And the agony of defeat. Prime Minister David Cameron outside number 10 Downing Street, choking back emotion with the surprise announcement he would resign in the coming months.
So why did David Cameron make such a mistake?
We will give the British people a referendum with a very simple in or out choice to stay in the European Union on these new
In
terms.
fact, the choice was a little more complex.
It will be an in-out referendum. In 2015, we'll ask for a mandate from the British people for a Conservative government to negotiate a new settlement with our European partners in the next Parliament. It will be a relationship with the single market at its heart. And when we have negotiated that new settlement, we will give the British people a referendum with a very simple in or out choice to stay in the European Union on these new terms or to come out altogether. It will be an in-out referendum.
So the referendum is not only on European Union membership, but first on the acceptance on the new settlement negotiated by the government of David Cameron with the European Union. But what are the terms of this new settlement? We can read them easily in the leaflet which was given to all the British citizens during the campaign for the referendum in 2016. Things are clearly written on the page 3 of the campaign leaflet for the Remain vote. They explain that the new settlement has secured a special status for the United Kingdom in the European Union. The first element of this special status is that they won't join the euro. The second one is that they keep their sovereignty on their border. And the third aspect is that they won't be part of further European political integration. So things are clear. If you vote Remain, you vote yes to this project, and then it means that you vote for a system which secures the fact that there will be no more integration for the United Kingdom within the European Union. So let's try to make it clear in this choice which is not as simple as what David Cameron says. So you have the choice between the vote Leave and the vote Remain. If you vote Leave, it is because, of course, you are against European Union membership. You don't want the United Kingdom to be member of the European Union. But it is also, of course, because you are against European integration. If you don't want your country to be member, you don't want European Union to be more integrated with your country in it. If you vote Remain, it's a little more complex. If you vote Remain, it is because you are for membership. You want your country to be member of the European Union. But as we saw, if you vote Remain, it is because you approve the new settlement negotiated by David Cameron, which secures the fact that there won't be more integration, so it means that you are also against integration. But the question is, what is the most important to make the decision? Is it membership or is it integration? Of course, it is integration. It is because of European progressive further integration that there were so many debates in the United Kingdom. And this question of integration is clearly locked by this referendum. Whatever you vote, you are sure that there won't be more integration in the future.
So in such conditions, suppose you don't want more European integration. What would be the reasons to vote Remain? Well, a Remain vote in such conditions would mean that for you consider that being member of the European Union for your country doesn't entail any risk of being taken in a new future round of integration. In fact, voting Remain is a way to show that you trust the European Union. But at the same time, you don't want to have more relationship with the European Union. It's a little paradoxical. It's a little ambivalent. In fact, what would be the best way to avoid more integration? Well, it would be to vote Leave. And that's why the campaign was led by far-right leaders like Nigel Farage, who associated European integration with immigration.
There is a second problem. The alternative proposed by David Cameron takes into account the people who are against more integration. But what about all the British people who want more integration? This is the case of the majority of the Labour Party, who was obliged to support Cameron's project to avoid the victory of the Leave, even if it didn't correspond to what they wanted. Their leader, Jeremy Corbyn, was criticised for having not supported enough the campaign for the Remain vote, but we can understand why he was not really enthusiastic.
The Prime Minister's deal includes elements we welcome but others that concern us. But it's largely irrelevant to the choice facing the British people. Not one single element has a significant impact on the case we are making to stay in. Labour believes the EU is a vital framework for European trade and cooperation in the 21st century. A vote to Remain is in the interests of people, not only in what the EU delivers today, but as a framework through which we can achieve much more in the future. But to deliver these progressive reforms that I've referred to, we need to work with our partners in Europe to achieve them. Therefore, we must ensure that we remain a member. That's the case we're going to be making for a Europe that is socially cohesive, a Europe that shares the benefits of wealth and prosperity amongst all its citizens. That is the case we're making as the Labour Party, as the trade union movement in this country, and we look forward to that public debate.